Welcome back everyone. Time to do another comparison between the newly released Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and the pretty much newly released OnePlus 8 as well. I mean, both these phones are fairly new, the Note 20 being the newer one, and what I can tell you is both of these phones are tremendous, but I still think the value per dollar, you're going to be getting a better value per dollar from the OnePlus 8. You can pick up a lot of OnePlus 8s for around that $600 price tag, probably even cheaper, and I'll find the cheapest one on Amazon and link it down below. The same as I think for the Note 20, the cheapest one of that I will also link down below. But what I can tell you is between these two, I think the OnePlus 8 surprisingly is the more flagship device. The Note 20 and the whole entire Note lineup, Samsung has actually watered down, where on the OnePlus side, they actually hyped their devices up and they improved them quite a bit. But it's kind of funny because the areas that the OnePlus 8 is really strong at and kind of lacks in, the Note 20 is actually really strong in, but lacks in other areas where the OnePlus 8 is like super strong at. It's very confusing, but I'll explain it later on. So starting off with the front, the OnePlus 8 has a 6.55-inch Fluid AMOLED display, and this is a 1080p panel, and I think it's a great panel. I think for the most part, for it being an AMOLED display, it looked really good. You have very, very little bezel on the bottom and top, and it's funny because in this day and age, we're even calling that a little bezel. Like, that's pretty much no bezel at all, but it's kind of something I have to say. You have a hole punch display on the top left corner, and I think overall this panel is still a tremendous panel. It has a waterfall-esque kind of like edge-shaped design to it too, which is really nice, but it's very subtle, so it's not as pertinent as like the Note 20 Ultras, but it's still a very good panel. I like it a lot. It feels really good in the hand. You have that 90Hz refresh rate on the OnePlus 8 as well, which is godsend. I mean, that's a super cool feature, and the fact that we got it on this phone is really, really cool. We did get that 120Hz on the OnePlus 8 Pro, but still the OnePlus 8 got that 90Hz, which is really cool. And I think the display on the OnePlus 8 is really, really good. You know what I mean? I mean, there's really not too much to hate on it. Whereas on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, we have a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus display, and this is a 1080p panel as well, almost the exact same resolution as the OnePlus 8. And I think it's a good panel. You know what I mean? Samsung makes a lot of good panels. You have the hole punch display in the center, and I think the whole, edge-shaped design of this phone too is really cool. You have like sharp corners, whereas the OnePlus 8, they're kind of more rounded. And I think when you feel this phone in the hand in terms of the display itself, I think it looks good. It's a flat display. Some people actually prefer that. There's no kind of, edge to it or waterfall kind of display. There's nothing like that, and some people prefer that. I personally prefer the OnePlus 8s, but I still think the Samsung Galaxy Note 20's panel is good enough for the most part. You know what I mean? It gets the job done. But in terms of the panel, you have that 90Hz refresh rate on the OnePlus 8, which I think is a much better feature, and I would rather take that than, a flat panel on the Note 20. So in terms of the display, I feel like the OnePlus 8 already wins. They both have USB Type-C on the bottom, but the Note 20 has that really cool feature of the S Pen. Some people like it, some people don't, some people don't care. I personally do like it. I think it's a really cool feature, and that's one of the main reasons that why I think if I ever used an Android as a main device, I would probably end up using the Note line because of that S Pen. And moving on to the back, you have a little bit, actually really different setups on both. The only similar thing is a triple camera setup. Other than that, you have a frosted glass back on the OnePlus 8 that feels extremely good. I think that feels really nice in the hand, and there's really not too much to hate on it. You know what I mean? It gets the job done, and it feels really, really good. Whereas on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, you have pretty much a plastic back on the Note 20, and it's more so plastic than glass. I think it's somewhere in the middle. They put like a plastic, whatever they called it. It's pretty much a plastic back. It feels just like that in the hand, and that's a huge weird thing that Samsung did. I don't understand why they did that. It doesn't make any sense. They make a ton of money. This isn't like a $300 phone. This is a $1,000 flagship phone. And I don't know why they did that. It doesn't really make too much sense, for them to penny pinch this much. But in terms of the back and the way it feels, that's a huge asset for the OnePlus 8 as well. And both of them don't have any memory card expansion or anything, so there's no reason to compare that. But definitely when you feel both in the hand, the OnePlus 8 feels more like a flagship device. You actually feel like you're holding a $1,000 phone on the OnePlus 8, or on the Note 20, you feel like you're holding like a $500 phone or something like that. You know what I mean? It has good heft to it. The camera module sticks out a lot, so you get that effect that it is, a really big, great camera performing flagship phone, and it is kind of in a way, but it doesn't feel like that in your hands, which does kind of suck because you want to feel a phone, that's because you want to feel a phone and be happy with the phone, especially if if you're about to drop 1,000 on it, like that's pretty crazy in my opinion. So in terms of the body, the OnePlus 8 definitely wins. In terms of software, you have Android 10 on both, but they are very different at their core. The OnePlus 8 is running Oxygen OS, which is a very stock version of Android. They're kind of apparently switching away from it on Android 11, but we don't know for a fact. They may switch back, but as of this point, Android 10 runs perfectly fine on Oxygen OS. I like it a lot. Whereas on One UI 2, which is what the Samsung Note 20 is running on, it's very skinned. Some people like it. Some people, I think a majority of people don't really like it, and it's kind of an acquired taste. I think that definitely when it comes down to the software experience, the Note 20 is just kind of lackluster in my opinion, but they're going to be doing the same things. They have pretty much the same features. If anything, I think One UI actually has more features, but OnePlus 8 is just more stock in the way its approaches, and I think that's a huge asset. I think that's a really, really cool thing that the OnePlus 8 has going for it that the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 doesn't necessarily have. In terms of longevity of support, they're going to be ending around the same time. Samsung actually increased their lifecycle support to 1 year extra. So instead of 2 updates, it's going to get 3, which is really cool. And that's kind of around what the OnePlus is, kind of offering as well, unless they increase their software updates as well. But that's kind of where we're at this point. So in terms of software, I think the OnePlus 8 definitely wins. Now hitting on the performance, the OnePlus 8 has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 650 GPU, and 8 gigs of RAM on the base model, and 12 gigs of RAM on the top tier model, where the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 650 GPU, and 8 gigs of RAM on that base model. There's only one model of the Note 20 and it is that 8 gig model. And what I can tell you is in terms of the performance, starting off with the OnePlus 8, I felt like it was a great performing phone. I think it's probably one of the best performing phones right now. Any speed test I did with it, anything I did with it at all, it was an extremely fast, powerful phone. You're not going to pick it up and feel like you have a super slow device. You're not going to feel like you have a way better or way worse device than the Note 20. I feel like, all phones nowadays perform fairly the same. I think some of the biggest differentiating factors comes down to the RAM. So if you get that base model of both of these phones, there's only one model, the Note 20, you're going to be about the same. But that top tier model of the OnePlus 8 with that extra 4 gigs of RAM is really going to do yourself some favors, I think, in the long run. But you're still going to be having a very good performing phone on the OnePlus 8. With the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, I say the exact same things too. You're going to be getting a very good performing phone. It's not going to feel like, you have an outdated device or an old device or whatever the case is. It's going to be a very, very good phone at the end of the day. And that's one of the biggest advantages for picking up a Samsung device. You almost always get some of the better performance of that year. However, it does kind of get bogged down a little bit faster because of these software updates, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. But I think the performance on the OnePlus 8 is more of a smoother experience, where the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 may be a faster experience, and I think that's the best way to come down to it. So in terms of performance, that pretty much covers it up. Now hitting on the cameras, like I said, triple camera setups on both. The OnePlus 8 has their 48 megapixel wide-angle lens, 16 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, then a 2 megapixel macro lens. They just threw it in there. It doesn't really do anything in my opinion. Where the Note 20 has that 12 megapixel wide-angle lens, 64 megapixel telephoto lens, and then a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor. So you do have that pretty much additional telephoto lens on the Note 20, and I feel like this is one of the areas that OnePlus wants to get better at, but they haven't got better at just yet. And I feel like with the OnePlus 8, it's almost there. If they just put a little bit more effort, which they probably will in these next generations. The OnePlus 8 has a pretty good camera. You can do 4K at 60, but the Note 20 definitely wins here. It has a pretty good camera. It has a really good camera. You can not only do 4K at 60, but you can do 8K videos on that phone as well, which is huge, and that's a humongous asset for a phone like this. The S20 had it, and this phone has it too. And like I said, when you get a phone like this, it's honestly one of my favorite things ever. So in terms of the camera, you're going to be getting better quality photos and better quality videos from a phone like the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 over the OnePlus 8. On the front, 16 megapixel sensor on the OnePlus 8, 10 megapixel sensor on the Note 20, and you might just assume that the OnePlus 8 is better, but not the case. You can do 4K at 60 on that Note 20, where you can only do 1080p on the OnePlus 8. So in my opinion, the camera is just overall better on the Note 20 than on the OnePlus 8. Now ending off with the battery life, you have 4300 mAh batteries on both. So I would tell you, in terms of the battery life, the Note 20, just in terms of the battery life, may actually be the winner here. You don't have that 90Hz refresh rate, but if they were both on 60, I feel like the Note 20 may be the winner, but the OnePlus 8 also has pretty good battery life, so they're both kind of like tied now that I think about it. But one isn't necessarily going to beat the other one by a ton. But a huge thing to keep in mind is that the Note 20 does have wireless charging, and I just randomly got hiccups, so I'm going to hiccup probably, but I have to edit it all out. You have wireless charging and reverse wireless charging on the Note 20, or the OnePlus 8, you don't even have wireless charging, which is pretty crazy. And those two are battery features, and I automatically give that to the Note 20. Those are really cool functionality. I mean, the wireless charging, every phone has wireless charging, but the reverse wireless charging is really cool, and I do give that to the Note 20. So overall, what I can tell you is that the OnePlus 8 and the Note 20, great phones. I feel like I said before, the better value per dollar is still with the OnePlus 8. I feel like that phone gives you more bang for your buck, but the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 is a tremendous phone. There's really not too much to hate on it besides the back being made out of plastic and the lack of memory expansion, but these two phones do not support it, so there's really no point in comparing it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like if I had to get one of these phones, I would probably end up picking up the OnePlus 8. I like that software. I like the way it feels in the hand. It definitely, to me, is the more premium device. But the Note 20, I feel like, has the more features. You know what I mean? You have the better camera setup. You have that S Pen, which is really cool. You have that wireless charging and reverse wireless charging, which is really important to a lot of people. So I don't feel like you can go wrong with either one of these. Me personally, I would get the OnePlus 8, but I feel like the Note 20 is probably the more complete phone at the end of the day. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.